sleeping there tonight, Tank, you realise?
Today's a trail ride that is uniting all of the Australian trail horse riders, and the goal is to support the Australian Brumby and raise awareness for the Australian Brumby. There's over 20 clubs in Australia competing, and with all going well, they're expecting more than probably 1,500 horses riding Australia-wide.
He's a big Clydesdale cross. He's got very big feet. But he's a good boy. He's pretty quiet. Sometimes he gets a bit revved up, but generally he's a good boy. He's about 10 years old. He's likes to plod along. He can, like I said, he can go fast. I'll go to adult riders on him as well, but I really like trail riding the best. I just like to be relaxed and chill out in the bush. It's fun.
We're in the town of Marysville, and the trails around here have been a huge part of the horse world, both in the pioneer day, because this was one of the camps to go through to Woods Point and the Goldfields. So horses have played a huge part. The park here is called Gallipoli Park, which is a celebration of Gallipoli and a commemorative of Gallipoli.
He's a rescue case, and he's turned out to be quite a good competition dressage horse, so he's having a little bit of break from competition and we'll go for a trail ride instead. He's a 4.5-year-old warm blood thoroughbred. Basically I will use him for adult riding, but also I like getting out doing the trail ridings with him because it's good for him to get out and see the world. So yeah, he's fairly well bred, so hopefully he'll do well in future times. And I love coming back and doing the bush. It's all good for the horses to get just to do a variety of different things. Yeah, the more experience with them, the better it is. Yeah, and they become better horses too. Yeah, and it's good fun going out with your friends riding.
Hey, my name's Kerry. I'm in the Saddletramps, and we'd all like to welcome you to this ride, and thank you very much for coming. Just a few things before we set off. Just let you know on the people that are running the ride. Our lead rider is John Cash. I'm sure most of you would know him. Can everyone please keep behind John? He's the leader of the rider and no one's to go in front of him. Our trail boss who's leading the ride is Greg Bryan. He'll be just in charge of the ride and make sure everything goes nice and smoothly on the ride.
This is my first day of doing this, so I'm feeling really excited, but I'm feeling quite apprehensive as well. But got my trust in my friend Bike, we've been together and ridden a few times, and also in Joe's the person who's been teaching me to ride and building my confidence. So pre-meeting Joe and Bike, I had a real fear of horses, didn't even want to touch them, but now I can hold my hand out and Bike can eat off my hand, and we've been riding around a bit, but this is my first day like today, riding with a lot of experienced riders.
Trail ride, that's about it. Come up on the weekends and we go out on the trails, bushwalking without the effort I like to call it. That's about it. We don't do any competitions or anything like that. Hey, I don't have enough time. I live in Melbourne during the week, so I come up to ride him on the weekends and things like that.
We're organised.
The trails are one of the best Victorian trail areas around. The trails are soft earth and mountainous and spectacular with the tree fern gullies. The bushfires came through and devastated the area, but they haven't destroyed the area. It's growing back and it's truly spectacular country. The Marysville Saddletramps have been operating for over 30 years now. We're one of the most successful trail riding clubs. Running trail rides and training days for kids and supporting the Bicentennial National Trail and just encouraging healthy trail riding and horse handling. The best way to start is to come along and just have a look, meet the people, greet the people, see what it is we do, become a backup person, what we call, drive around, bring the lunches out, have a look at the country, see if this is the world they want to come into. There's fabulous riding schools in the area, Rubicon Valley Trail Horse Riding Centre. They've got some excellent horses and fabulous facilities, and they're very patient in teaching and training. There's also other riding places in the district that are just opening up that are happy to help you and teach you how to horse ride and introduce you to trail horse riding here in the high country. Currently where we're at is a campsite called Anderson's Mill, and the Anderson's Mill horse yards, as you can see, were, the original ones were all burnt in the bushfires, so we created, working with DSC, working bees and raised funds, and we rebuilt these horse yards, and they're one of the only public set of horse yards in Victoria of this magnitude. A lot of people just have hitching rails and small horse yards, but you can actually camp here. There's toilets, fireplaces, easy access for floats. The riding trails are spectacular right from here, from the campsite, so it's the ideal camping location for horse riders.
Though I've worked in Marysville for 2 years, I wasn't quite sure of where I was going, but it's absolutely beautiful. A lot of beauty, even though the trunks are burnt, there's a lot of beauty in the forest, and I love riding in the forest.
This campsite here is one of the camps for the Bicentennial National Trail, and that trail goes from Healesville to Cooktown in Queensland, which is 5,330 kilometres long, and it's the longest fully marked non-motorised multi-use trail in the world. So we're very lucky to have this campsite right on our doorstep, so we try and use it as often as we can.